Let's start with Robert in Canada. Robert in Canada, you're on Breitbart News Daily. How can we help you, brother?
Hey, good morning, gentlemen. Steve, I wanted to respond to a question that you were asking both your colleagues and a lot of the callers in yesterday regarding the wisdom of Donald Trump's tweeting about these, Muslims engaging in these despicable acts. And my view is that Donald Trump's tweeting of those images, or retweeting anyways, fits into a broader phenomenon that we've observed across his presidential campaign and during his presidency thus far. And that is getting the left-wing and Democrat-aligned news media, which postures as objective. And that's so important because, as the late Andrew Breitbart says in the lead-up to some of these shows, recorded audio, that the media uses this as a weapon, this faux pretense of objectivity, neutrality, nonpartisanship, truth-telling, to deceive the audience, to deceive the American people into believing left-wing narratives and partisan Democrat politics. So when the news media gets unhinged, when they show more of their ankle, when the mask starts to slip, when they become undisciplined and unhinged, they reveal themselves for who they are, which is such a big part of this war, which is to expose them for what they are. And that's why I think there is some wisdom, there's some benefit. I call it the great reveal. It's one of the greatest gifts that Donald Trump's presidency has delivered to us so far.
Do you think in the great reveal, as a strategic communication tool in what we call this information war, which is a major front in this war to save our country and to save the Judeo-Christian West? It's one of the reasons we're in Scotland today, talking to a group of elites and letting them know that the deplorables are not prepared to give up. The deplorables do not agree with the decline of the West. Do you think that oftentimes he may use that tactically in the wrong way?
Well, I'm of two minds here. On the one hand, Joel Pollack wrote an article about this in which he viewed what Donald Trump did as somewhat undisciplined. I think he used the word sloppy in the article. I would agree with that. On the other hand, the lovely Victoria Friedman yesterday told you, and this is, I think, the most important part, and it resonates with a theme that you have regularly, which is a deep affection and respect, and the opposite of the left-wing media's contempt for what we can call the American people. Friedman said that Americans are smart enough to see through these slight inaccuracies, or what Joel Pollack described as sloppiness. A little error here or there, a little misstatement. It's not some sort of fatal mistake, right? So while it may be a little bit inarticulate or unspecific in the way that you and I and many others might desire, because we're so plugged into this, we're so into details and accuracy, in the broad strokes, I don't think it's such a misstatement, and I think it gets us at least viewing, or forces the hand of the news media to show certain things which everyone on this program knows is swept under the rug by the news media, to deny the social and religious and political pathologies that are common among many Muslims. Not to indict them all, of course, but it's something that we have to talk about. And if we have to trust Jake Tapper to set the national discourse or agenda, we will never talk about or know about.
Robert in Canada, brilliant call. Great way to start the day. By the way, that's why I like starting the day with callers instead of just the comment. We're going to get to Raheem. By the way, Raheem Kassam, Victoria Friedman was on the show yesterday. We were actually Brown's Hotel in West End of London. Victoria is one of the great young writers at Breitbart London, and she had a lot of very perceptive things to say.